The City of London, the world's financial powerhouse. They say money never sleeps, but in London, it never stops moving. Hidden behind the ancient streets of the city lies a machine that controls trillions. A square mile of quiet glass and stone that quietly influences currencies, economies, and governments far beyond the borders of the United Kingdom. Every minute, decisions made within this tiny district ripple outward across continents, shifting the flow of capital in ways most people will never see. The city is small, but its reach is limitless, a paradox of size and power that has fascinated the world for centuries. London's financial power didn't appear overnight. Long before Wall Street existed, before skyscrapers came to define modern finance, the City of London was already writing the rules of global trade. To understand how this happened, we must step back into a world where money moved slowly, where ships carried fortunes, and where the future of empires depended on merchants gathering in cramped wooden rooms. The foundations of the global economy we know today were not laid in boardrooms or digital exchanges. They were forged in smoky taverns and coffee houses filled with restless ambition. It began in the 17th century, inside small, fog-filled coffee houses. These were not the cafes we imagine today. They were chaotic hubs of news, gossip, speculation, and raw commerce. Dreamers, shipowners, insurers, and risk-takers gathered in these rooms, searching for opportunity in the unpredictable world of maritime trade. In a world without formal banks and without organized financial markets, these places became laboratories of capitalism. Lloyd's Coffee House grew into the greatest center of maritime insurance in history, while Jonathan's Coffee House evolved into the home of early stockbrokers. Here, men wager on voyages that could take years to complete, betting their wealth on storms, pirates, and distant ports. A single signature could save an empire or ruin a fortune. No one knew at the time, but these candlelit rooms were laying the foundations of the financial world we live in today. London's transformation accelerated in 1694 with the creation of the Bank of England. It wasn't created through royal decree, but through necessity and innovation. Private investors lent money to the crown during a period of profound instability, and in return they gained influence over the nation's finances. This arrangement introduced a revolutionary idea that trust, not gold, could sustain an entire financial system. The bank acted as a lender of last resort, the stabilizer of markets, and the anchor of a growing empire. With every decade, its influence grew deeper, spreading through Europe and across the Atlantic. London had discovered that confidence was more powerful than treasure and far more enduring. As the British Empire expanded across continents, the City of London evolved into the empire's financial nervous system. Ships leaving London carried goods, but they also carried insurance contracts, credit arrangements, legal frameworks, and debt obligations. Sterling became the world's reserve currency, trusted across borders and oceans. Whether it was tea from India, cotton from America, spices from Southeast Asia, or minerals from Africa, nearly every major trade route ran through the city's counting houses. London became the global point of settlement, the place where money from every corner of the world converged. By the 19th century, the London Stock Exchange had grown into one of the most powerful institutions ever created. Railways stretching across continents, mining companies digging into untouched mountains, and massive infrastructure projects shaping the modern world. All were financed through London. The city became a marketplace of dreams and dangers, where fortunes were built in hours and lost in moments. Investors poured their savings into foreign governments, new technologies, and booming industries, trusting London's rules, reputation, and relentless pursuit of profit. Money moved faster here than anywhere else because the city understood something vital. Capital thrives when it is free. Low taxes, light regulation, predictable laws, and the city's unique autonomy created a gravitational pull that no other financial center could match. But the 20th century brought storms. 2 world wars devastated Europe, shattered economies, and reshaped political boundaries. The British Empire fragmented, nations gained independence, and the global balance of power shifted. The gold standard collapsed, currencies fluctuated wildly, and new financial powers emerged. New York began to rise as London's fiercest rival. Yet, instead of fading, London adapted with remarkable resilience. In the 1960s, the city reinvented itself through the euro-dollar market, a financial innovation that allowed banks to trade U.S. dollars outside the reach of American regulators. It was bold, ingenious, and controversial. In one move, London turned itself into the world's offshore bank, a financial engine operating beyond borders and beyond traditional limitations. The 1980s brought another turning point, the Big Bang deregulation. In a single day, the city stepped into the future. Outdated trading rules vanished. Electronic systems replaced paper. Foreign banks surged into London, seizing opportunities in one of the most liberal and dynamic financial environments on Earth. The city's skyline transformed as gleaming towers rose over medieval streets. Trading floors roared with energy, screens flashed with data from around the world, and London's reputation solidified. It was fast, global, sophisticated, and unstoppable. The city became the ultimate financial crossroads, where history, technology, and ambition fused into something extraordinary. Yet beneath the success lay deep tensions. The City of London is unlike any other political entity in the United Kingdom. It has its own police force, its own mayor, centuries-old privileges, and even a political system where corporations, not just individuals, have voting rights. Supporters say this independence keeps London competitive, agile, and attractive to global capital. Critics argue it has allowed finance to drift too far from the real economy, creating a world where decisions made in gleaming towers affect millions who will never walk within the square mile. For these critics, the city is a ghost state, powerful, opaque, and accountable to no one. The 2008 financial crisis exposed these contradictions. Banks collapsed, markets froze, entire nations faced economic ruin. Ordinary citizens watched their savings evaporate while, inside the city, institutions scrambled to survive. Yet London endured. Its centuries-old framework of trust, legal structure, and regulatory expertise allowed it to rebuild faster than expected. Some call this stability, proof of London's unmatched resilience. Others call it privilege, a sign that the system protected itself first and everyone else second. Even today, after Brexit, geopolitical tensions, and fierce competition from New York, Singapore, and Hong Kong, London remains a titan. The city handles more foreign exchange trading than any other financial center on Earth. It dominates international banking, insurance, derivatives, fintech, and asset management. It remains a magnet for global talent, a sanctuary for investors seeking stability, and a hub for innovation in everything from blockchain to green finance. Tradition and technology coexist on the same narrow streets, bound together by a culture of risk-taking and reinvention. And through it all, one truth remains. The city's power is built on trust. Not on buildings, not on politics, not on history, but on a belief shared globally that contract will be honored, rules will be predictable, and capital will be safe. In an age defined by uncertainty, that belief is priceless. Trust is the invisible architecture holding the entire system together, a delicate yet resilient force that has allowed London to thrive through wars, crises, and revolutions. What began in crowded coffee houses has become a system that fuels modern capitalism. Every stock trade, every international loan, every investment fund, every digital coin carries a trace of London's legacy. Finance is not just about numbers. It is about confidence, discipline, imagination, and the willingness to take risks. And for centuries, the city has been the place where confidence is built, tested, challenged, and ultimately proven. London's story is a story of modern finance itself, bold, complex, fragile, and constantly evolving. In the next episode of Cinematic London Finance Chronicles, we'll uncover the hidden empire behind London, the offshore networks and tax havens that channel unseen trillions. These secretive jurisdictions influence everything from corporate behavior to national policy. The story of money, secrecy, and global power is only just beginning.